Okay, so today we're doing the lily pads. We're going to place them. And the ones in the back are going to be a suggestion. But the nice thing about this is that we have a mass in the back. We have a big mass in the front. And then we have a couple that are connecting the back to the front. So it's a nice flow of movement of those lily pads. Okay, let's start with the back. I'm going to use sap green, ultramarine violet, and I'm using yellow. The yellow I'm using is cadmium yellow medium, but if you don't have cadmium yellow medium, cadmium yellow light will do. But it's really important to use at this stage a bit of either red, touch of red, or ultramarine violet in the green to tone it down. So the value, or to desaturate your color, because sap green and yellow are very bright colors together. So to tone them down and make them more earthy, we add a touch of purple in there or red. And I'm using small, bright or flat brush, and I'm going to be using eventually round one. So I'm going to start from the back and let's see. You can hardly see it right now, but that's a good value right now. It's good. I don't want it to be too strong. And I'm going across. Oh, this is going to look so good. Oh. Even if we put a, here, I'm going to put a bit more yellow. Oh my God, I love this. Leave a bit of dark in between. Don't cover your dark completely. I'm keeping an eye on where I'm putting those lily pads. Okay. Now, if you cover some of a lot of that dark, that's okay. We can always go back and add it. But it helps if you don't. So when I started putting the color in the back, I was going kind of quickly, but now I'm getting to the front. I'm making sure that my colors, my brush stroke, whatever I put my brush stroke is in the right place, especially where there's reflection. So we don't want to cover the reflection completely, but we want some of it to be covered. So I'm going to be careful now. Try to be careful. All right. Okay, now right here, bottom of the window, reflected window. Good. Good, good. Okay. Let's come to this part. This would look nicer if it's darker. This window here is distracting. Alrighty, no problem. We'll do that. Let's darken this area before we continue. Sap green, ultramarine violet is right here, handy. Let's do that. Especially when we start highlighting those lily pads, if they are against dark, they will look nicer. They will pop. Okay, that's good. Good enough. All right, let's go back. All right, I'm gonna come here slowly. I am not doing exactly positioning the lily pads exactly where they are, not copying exactly. It's going to be, it will be a bit too much copying it exactly because there's too many details in there. I'm just going to try to give it a shape, a nice shape. Just glancing at what I see there. But I'm kind of improvising, especially for the ones in the front. We're going to change a bit the colors of these, of course. This is just placing them. See if you see one color that I'm using here. It's just, I'm placing those for now. I'll be adding some variation to that green, some blue, some purple. But for now, I just want to see how they look. And I don't want to deal with too many colors when I'm placing them. It'd be too much. Too much glare on this thing. Oh, it's better. Too much glare. That's better. Okay. Coming forward, we are going to see a cluster right here. So we have one here. That's a nice one in the back. Then we have another one here. Well, actually, it doesn't look like that. It looks a bit more bigger. But I don't want to go too big right now. Now, let's go for those ones in the front. I think I'm going to go bigger with the brush. This is a round one. I'll see if it works, but it's a big round one. Well, I'm trying to be careful so I can leaving some darks in between. Closer to us, the bigger, wider, those lily pads will look a lot wider than the ones in the back. Now there's a lot of overlapping of lily pads in here. And well, if I lose some of the darks again, I would just go back and just add them in. Put some darks in here. So ultramarine violet, that's what I mean by darks. With my green. I'm still laying the first layer. Now, I personally, I am not going to do those colors that you see in there, which is like a silver one, kind of a silver color. I'm just going to try to keep them like the usual water lilies that we see. More of on the green side, lighter, darker, but not really with that silver that you see there. But you're welcome to do anything you like with that. Put some highlights, yes, strong highlights, but I am not going to, I don't want to go into details with this. I just want to show us, a suggestion of those darks, lights. And the placement for me is much more important than anything else, really. You can hardly see what I'm doing here. Okay. Oh, no, that's too much reflection. Okay. It gives you an idea, at least. I know there's a lot of reflection in here. It will be better when it'll change once it's dry. Right. Okay. More. A little bit more on this side. Oops. Okay, good. I'm going to stop for now. Okay, so there's a hint of a wall right here and right there. So it's like in our case, it'll be yellow. So what I did is, because it's covered and it's a nice kind of break. I took yellow ochre and I put a touch of ultramarine violet in it to tone it down. And I'm coming here, this is kind of a bit wet, not very much, but wipe my brush and I'm just gonna put back this wall a bit, kind of a hint of that wall. More than the actual door, it's the wall that I lost a bit of the wall, and that is great. Look, that looks good. It's back. It gives me a hint of the door there, but it's actually a wall. And I'm going to do the same here. Same right here. Okay. Honestly, it's a lot softer than what you're seeing there on the monitor. Okay, so I'm going to stop. Okay, so let's put this plant. And I know this color is not what I'm using right now. This has phthalo blue in it and yellow. So it's more of a stronger color, but for now I'll just put a bit of the darker. Let me see, can you see it? Or is there a lot of glare in there? Let's see. Okay, I highlighted it a bit so you can see it. Right. It's a nice change of texture in here, or shapes. And it has a bit of course, it's reflected in the water. It's a bit yellow right now. I'm just doing it like that on purpose so you can see it, but it's not that yellow. It's more like a bluish green in there. So we will change we're just positioning these in right now, but we will change it. You can hardly see it right now. I'm wondering if this pond needs maintenance. Or else let's just leave it like that. Okay, so to highlight the ones in the back, I am mixing a different mixture than what I did before. I'm using cerulean blue and cadmium yellow light. And what I'm doing is I'm adding a touch or a bit of sap green in it to tone it down. And sometimes even ultramarine violet will tone it down and make it more earthy, because if you mix them together, they're quite strong. The green is very light and strong. So I'm going to start from the back, and I'm using the same brush I used before. I'll see if this is too light, then I'll make it darker, but I think it's okay. And again, what I'm doing is I'm leaving a bit of that, of course, dark in between. And not a lot of detail in there, of course, just a hint of that green. Load my brush and carefully and slowly put those in. Trying my best not to make my brush stroke too wide. Okay, I'm gonna grab a bit of yellow ochre in here with my green. So not all of those flowers are, or flowers, pads are just green. So I'm adding a bit of yellow ochre in here in between. That's mixed with the green, the same green I'm using. So I'm just gonna kind of, oh my, that makes a big difference, adding the yellow ochre. It looks very nice. Okay, let's go back. it's already looking much nicer with the highlights. So I'm keeping an eye on the darks. Go back and pick up some yellow ochre. See, when you start highlighting, you can see the shape more, so you can adjust the shapes. The ones in the front here, I can see a lot more yellow in there. So I'm gonna add that yellow ochre in here, strong, kind of. And that's nice, that's nice, because not everything is green. Okay, I'll wait for it to dry and then I'll see if I need to highlight it a little bit more. Some of it. So we have now, we had the darks, we're doing medium kind of, and with a bit of yellow in here, or yellow ochre. And then once it's dry, I'll go back and see if I need to highlight a little bit more, a couple of them. Maybe not. I mean, I don't want the ones in the back to be too light. Let's bring in darks in here. So those lily pads have a highlighted, but at the same time they have dark areas too, in the same on the same lily pad. So they're not all one color, one value. Okay, let's pick up some yellow ochre. Good. I'm bringing in a bit more yellow in here, cadmium yellow light. Okay, that looks good. Right, some bit of cadmium yellow light in the back. Careful, trying to be really careful how much I put in there. And I'm watching my brush stroke. Okay, yellow ochre. I'm going to mix it with cadmium yellow light. I have green on my brush. That's for the ones in the front. A bit of that gold color is really nice.
It's pretty.
Yeah, gold color. So this cadmium yellow light and yellow ochre is a nice combination. Although I do have still, I mean, I have green in it, but it gives that kind of warm, nice color because there's a lot of cool colors in here, a lot of green. So a bit of warm color will bring the whole thing to a different level. Now, if I find that the yellow is too strong, I'm just gonna kind of tone it down a bit with, and I don't want to overdo it. Let's change the round brush. Just gonna do kind of little dots. We're still gonna put the flowers, so leaving some room for the flowers. this plant, it's really in this corner here, this is a different green from what you see here. You see those plants all around here are a little bit more vibrant. This is more olive on the olive side, so it's kind of muted. So to get this color, I mixed phthalo blue with cadmium yellow light, and I added a touch of a bit of yellow ochre to tone it down and make it more earthy. Because look, phthalo blue and cadmium yellow light is extremely bright, and it needs to be toned down for nature. Anything grass or leaves and nature. So this is going to give me a good color, but at the same time, it still looks strange anyway. It's a strange kind of color. Add a bit more yellow, touch of yellow in here, more yellow, and just add a bit of highlight in here in yellow on the same leaf. Now, what I'm going to do is take this color again with a bit of more yellow ochre in it, and add some of this in here too. More like I'm using glaze kind of, so it's not heavy. I'm going to do a couple of dots in here. Okay.